Hi, I'm Rob.
And I'm Rob.
And this is Ask Rob and Rob.
Hello everyone and welcome to Ask Rob and Rob, the show where you provide really good questions and we try to match you with our answers. But what we will do is always answer a good question. And luckily, Mike and Callum have delivered for us this week. Now, if you'd like to be a part of the show, get your question answered, and by doing so, helping a lot of other people in the process, we've made it very simple for you to get involved.
Yes, we have. All you need to do is drop us a voicemail by calling 013 808 00035. That's 013 808 00035. Or you can do exactly the same thing, but on your computer by going to thepropertyhub.net/ask. So while you're mulling over what you'd like to ask, let's hear from someone who already has. This is Mark.
Hi Rob and Rob, this is Mark. Thank you for all your free advice, which I've found very useful. I wanted to ask your advice on how I could sell my HMO in Southampton. I've had it for 20 years and it's now mortgage free. I self-manage with my family, but I've now moved to the north and find the travelling and cost of upkeep of such an old house too much and want to sell the property and reinvest nearer to home. I've thought of adding value to the property by getting planning permission, which failed, and also selling the property to developers or investors. The feedback from developers who have viewed the property has been that the rental income, even though the property is near the university, would not make the money back for a rebuild. I'm not keen on remortgaging the property and haven't got enough capital free to take a hit with the void period whilst I refurbish the property myself and add value to it that way to make it more attractive for a sale. So could you give me some advice on what I might be able to do to sell this property and move on? Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Really interesting. Good to have a question about selling because so many questions are about buying, and naturally when people are going to be the most anxious and have the most that they want to know. But things come up when you're selling as well. So let's see how we can help. The first thing I'd say is that every property has a price that it will sell for. It might not be the price that you'd like it to be, but there will always be a range of prices. There's the top end where it will sell eventually when the right person comes along. Then there's the bottom end where you'll have people snapping your hand off and you could sell it tomorrow. Then there's a range in the middle. If you go above that top number, it's never going to sell. But below that, it will do. It's just a matter of how urgent the sale is. If you've had the property for 20 years and it's mortgage free, then presumably you've had some good growth over that time and there's no particular price that you need to achieve. So it depends how motivated you are to achieve the best price you possibly could versus just get rid of it, have the capital and be able to reinvest. If you're not that bothered about getting the absolute most you possibly could, then the easiest thing to do would be to just sell the property as it is, as an investment if there are tenants in there. You could do that through a local agent or you could put it into auction. Auction would probably be the easiest because you know that within a month or so it will be gone. So that's one possibility. It's a possibility that not everybody has because there are mortgages involved and they might not have had the property long enough to have that growth, but it's an option that is open to you. Well, it sounds like you've had some negative feedback, but you've said that this is an HMO near the university. So fundamentally, it sounds like it would be appealing to quite a lot of people because the one thing you can never change about a property is its location. And if it's near the university in a popular area, then there's potential there. The challenge is that you don't have the funds to do that refurb yourself to increase the value before the sale. So what you could look into is something that's sometimes called an assisted sale. So you get investors who will come along, put in the money for the refurb and then take a percentage of the uplift that you'll achieve in selling price. Say that you could sell the property for 200,000 now or 300,000 once you've spent 20 grand on it. Well, they might lend you that 20 grand and then take a proportion of the increase between the 200 and the 300. Now, if you get along to local networking events, there'd probably be people there who would entertain that kind of arrangement. Obviously not something that you'd want to rush into. You'd need to take the time to get to know the person first, and you'd need to make sure that everything is drawn up properly. But it is an option. Or potentially a better option, if it's something you're comfortable with, is finding somebody in your family who would be willing to do something like that. If that capital is the only barrier to unlocking a far higher sale price, then that's something that's worth considering. But ultimately, it depends on you. Sometimes getting the absolute most money is the most important thing, and sometimes just getting it off your hands, not worrying about it and having that money ready to invest somewhere else outweighs the need to get as much as you possibly can. But I hope that gives you something to think about and helps you to make the choice that's right for you.
And whatever you do, good luck. Hope it goes well. Now, that's someone who's been investing for a long time, has got plenty of experience. But next up, we've got Callum, who's just starting out.
Hi Rob and Rob, it's Callum calling from Nottingham. Just want to start off by saying thanks for all the free property advice, it's really useful. I'm 21 and I've been saving quite a while now to get my first property and try and get on the property ladder for property development. One thing I'm wondering is, would it be better for me to learn the skills myself and do the trades myself, or better to go into project management and do it that way? We'll be interested to get your insight, guys. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Callum. It's a really good question, but difficult to answer because it's all about you. It's knowing yourself. Now, Rob and I, are we going to start learning about how to plaster, a home or a property? No, we're not. And that's because we know it's not where our strengths lie. It's not who we are. It's not where we're best at. And it's not where we can add the most value either. For me, this question revolves a lot around self-awareness and knowing yourself. Now, admittedly, at 21, my self-awareness wasn't that strong, and you can just have a look at some of my pictures from back then to evidence that. But the point is, you may not know, and that's perfectly understandable. So why not try it? If you find you've got a flair for these things, then fantastic. But try and do it without spending a load of money on courses. Try and see if there's a way to get involved by working alongside a trade if possible, or doing a taster course, just to see if it's something that you pick up or not. If you know that you've got a knack for things that are hands-on, then why not? But also, you mentioned project management. If you're an organised fellow and you feel pretty confident you do a good job around that, then check out a short course on project management. You can do something like on Udemy, for example. The courses are little to no cost there. Maybe check out the website there. And again, just start on a small scale and see if you have a knack for it. It's a case of trying. If you don't know yourself right now, where your skills and strengths lie, then just dabble at it rather than going all in. And then hopefully you'll get a sense for what you're best at. But general life lesson, the quicker you become aware of your strengths and your weaknesses and use them to your advantage, you'll be far more successful in life. So whatever you do, Callum, best of luck again.
Yeah, and congratulations, Callum, on being in a position to invest so young. A lot of people will be wishing that they were in your situation at that age. So that's us done for another week with Ask Rob and Rob. Send in a question of your own by going to thepropertyhub.net/ask, and we'll see you again on Thursday for the Property Podcast. Until then, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.